USF, and you could tell everybody, Steve, because that's just going to piss everybody off. Ken, Jose, Brian, Golish, everybody. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm wonderful, man. I appreciate the kind words there. You put me on top of the list.
You're all the way at the top, my friend. How's the travel, man? You're back on East Coast time. You back to normal?
Yeah, I don't sleep very good to begin with. So going west and going east and going west, I got no idea what's going on. So I'm just happy that we're here for a couple days. We're gonna head back out on Tuesday to California. So awesome time to be part of USF men's golf, and looking forward to coaching these guys to compete in the national championship.
Steve, I was looking at some of the stuff today because I don't need a bio because we've known each other for years now, but it's just like, dude, you've been here 11 years. Did you ever just think about that? You're here for more than a decade. Does it seem like it's flown by? Does it seem like yesterday? What does it feel like?
Well, when I'm sitting here looking at some photos of what I looked like 11 years ago, it does feel like a long time ago, but it has gone by very fast. We've had a lot of success here, had a lot of great players come through the program. And as you look at these memories, and we sharing some stories at dinner the other night with the team, and even just like Christmas parties and events and gatherings and things we've done, like you look at the previous players and the laughs that we had. I mean, it's gone by so fast.
You should have, man. I wish you were obviously you were busy because you were on the course with the guys, but Derek Sharp and I were trading texts back and forth. We're following you guys. We're going, it was so funny. I'm like, hear this. And he's like, well, this guy did this and this. And it was just, what was it about that last day for you guys to really like kick it into gear? Because it was like a little bleak and we're like, I don't know what it, and you kind of start looking around. It just seemed like, I don't know what it was, what you guys had for breakfast that morning. What was it that really kind of turned the tide that just said, hey, like, we're not taking any prisoners. We're going to the national championships?
Yeah, I think it actually kind of dates back a couple weeks earlier at the conference championship, and that left a sour taste in our mouth. We lost in a playoff to Charlotte. Don't feel like we played our best coming down the stretch there, and kind of gave it to them. Probably one of the more disappointing, if not the most disappointing, finish and feeling that we had in my 11 years here at USF, and kind of letting one slip away. I think the first two rounds we kind of gave up a couple shots in our final stretch of holes, 7 through 9, both rounds 1 and 2, knowing that we were playing better than our scores would indicate. And so I think that the golf course set up pretty good for us the final round. It got a little softer. We had a little rain, a little typical Seattle weather there with some mist, and it softened it up a little bit, and we played the golf course in a different way. So knowing that if we didn't play 7, 8, 9 great, that we had the back 9, which we had played pretty well all week, to kind of make up some ground there. And we played 7 through 9 pretty solid. And then I think we played the final 8 holes over there, 7 under par, for us to punch our ticket. And the guys really played incredible down the stretch. When the pressure was on, they could see the leaderboard. We were playing with Utah. Utah was making a run. South Carolina was in front of us, so we can kind of see what they posted. And we couldn't control what anybody else was doing, right. But the guys just put their head down, and they finished strong, and it was extremely satisfying to watch as a coach, for sure.
Yeah, I think college golf is so intriguing to me because we get so locked into the PGA Tour, and I was talking to my cousin because he was a master caddy up in Mamaroneck and Wingfoot up in New York, and just talking to him, he was there and he was able to watch Rory at the Masters, and he was like, Jay was like so locked in, he wasn't talking, and even DeChambeau was like, yeah, he didn't say 2 words to me. Right. There's such a singular focus, and if you're not getting a rule verified or anything, you're talking to your caddy maybe, and that's it. But for the collegiate level, like, it's a little different. Like, you're there, like, how do you kind of find that balance of knowing when to maybe give some more information and when to hang back, because that's just one guy. I mean, you got to understand the characteristics and the personalities of each of the guys on your team, right?
Yeah, you bring up a great point. And every player and every team is different. So this starting 5, we had the last couple events, excuse me, since about the first part of March. Wilhelm Riding, who is our 3rd best player, I think he's ranked about 105 in the country. I've walked with him every round since the beginning part of March. And Coach Caldwell, our associate head coach, has done a phenomenal job kind of managing the other 4 guys. So if you look at Nino, Nino doesn't like a whole lot of interaction on the golf course. He likes to kind of do his own thing, play his own game plan. Obviously, we strategized the night before about that stuff, but he just kind of wants to do his own thing. Cooper, very similar to Nino. So if you notice, we kind of put them out in the 4 and 5 slot. They go out first. I kind of go in the 3rd slot with Wilhelm, and then Shuby and Jake in the 1 and 2 slot. And they probably get more coaching interaction with Coach Caldwell than anybody else, just because of the way we've got it set up with the dynamics and the personality. And it seems to work for us this year. Next year, we're going to have, a bunch of new guys. We're losing 3 seniors. And so that strategy could ultimately change as well. And, we have to adapt to their personalities and what we feel is best for them and how we can help them on the golf course. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is help them play the best game they can. And you're playing for a team, but one of the things we talked about the night before the final round was this was not about the logo that you're playing for on your chest. This is about you playing for yourself individually. And if you do your job, the team will succeed. And, I think sometimes they're worried about, letting their teammates down, and then they don't perform to the best of their ability. So we wanted them to play for themselves that final round, and the team succeeded.
What do you think it is about your personality, Coach, that has allowed you to have such a success? And it's such a unique, sport. Again, it's very individualized, for a lot of different, but college is, again, it's just fascinating to me. What do you think it is about, whether it was your upbringing, whether it's about, where you coached before here, but what has allowed you to have so much success in South Florida?
I appreciate you saying that. I think the first thing you do is you got to have, when you're recruiting, you got to bring in the right guys that mesh with your personality, not only from a talent level point of view, but I think the thing that we're most proud of at USF is the guys have developed over the course of their career, whether they come in as freshmen and leave 4 years later, or we get a transfer like a Jake Peacock or a Cooper Smith, that just continue to get better through the time in our system. So. I don't know if there's anything about me that's flashy. I mean, I grew up playing golf. My dad was my role model, my idol. He was very hard on me, but he also knew when to put his arm around me and tell me that he was proud of me and he loved me. I think my philosophy is very similar. We hold them to a high standard and expectation of what the success we've had around here. We hold them accountable, but also at times they need to know that they are loved and supported regardless of the score that they shoot. And I just have tried to mimic that from what I've seen growing up. My golf coach, Buddy Alexander at Florida, very much a second father to me, very hard on me, very disciplined. But at the end of the day, I knew he had my back and he wanted the best thing for me. And I think that we try to do the same thing here at USF.
I asked Coach Ken earlier this week before, and 5-4, which is good. 5-4, we're inching away. It was 5-0. But I asked Coach Ken, I go, what is that like? Because I was at the games last week, and I said, Ken, what is it like? You have like Alex Golsh's in the front row, Brian Hodgins walking around, coaches are everywhere. And he goes, it's just, if you're a coach here, like we all support. Like Michael Kelly sets the tone of like, this isn't like, because he goes, it's not always like this. He's like, there's programs around the country where this coach is here and they're not coming out of their office, and this coach here and there's not much interaction. You've been there over a decade now, Steve. I mean, what is that like to be able to see men's side, women's side, bigger sports, smaller sports, and everybody just kind of being on the same page, everybody pulling the rope, everybody supporting each other?
It's phenomenal. And we have a group head coach text that Michael is on. And, we were watching Ken's team for the conference championship, and they were in a weather delay, and we're on the golf course, and we're trying to figure out how we can finish this thing off. And, when Jose won the conference championship, instantly, everyone's blowing it up, and the group text things that it's awesome because, we are a little siloed over here at the golf course. And so sometimes that is my connectivity to the world at USF. Right. But it's incredible because we all understand that what our roles are here, and the better that our program is, the more it elevates our university, our athletic department, the more that helps our chances of continuing to be recruited, and not only for the individual sports, but, we're all pulling for each other because we all benefit from the success of everybody else has, whether you believe it or not. The more visibility USF athletics has, the more that helps our chances of getting top tier talent here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And who knows, like conference realignment, like that's just, it's inevitable. I think power super conferences is going to be all split up. Like that's all out of everybody's hands. But the way the NCAA is, like, it's just an ever changing landscape. I got to ask you about Jake Peacock, man. I mean, this is a kid that, I interviewed him last year, and this is a guy that, man, he just, that the big birdie that he had there on 18. Like, I mean, where does he? And I don't want you to. It's almost like, tell me who your favorite child is. But like, where does he rank, like, as far as some of the best players that you've coached at USF? I mean, he's got to be near the top.
Yeah, he's done an unbelievable job of just continuing to get better. He does things a little unique. He's not very technical. He's very feel oriented, especially around the greens. He's the best putter I've ever coached at any college. And it's just off the charts and how he can read greens, match up his speed, the confidence he has in those things. And I think that's a large part of the reason he's had the success he's had. He's gotten to be a lot better ball striker, thinker on the golf course, controlling his emotions has been a huge key for him to the success he's had. But, probably between Chase Koepka, who was a 3-time All-American for us, Alvin Bergstrom, very similar. Jake has now had 4 tournament wins, which is the most in program, or ties for the most in program history. He knows where he sits in USF golf program history. I think he wants to continue to add to that legacy next week at the NCAA championship. But he's just done a phenomenal job for us and trusted us when, we had graduated Alvin. We had a transfer leave that we thought was going to stay. And he came in, and that first year he was here, we were not very good. And all the guys, Shuby, Jake, have just done an incredible job to go where we were 3 years ago, after being at a national championship to now back being there. It's an incredibly rewarding thing for those guys. Add Cooper to that, being a senior, for them to their last year to make it to the national championship and compete. That's the right way to go out, and I'm extremely happy for them.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And when you look at these next couple of days, what is it like? I mean, as we're looking at everything that's going on, and you're at what's the mindset? Is it more physical preparation, mental preparation? Like, how do these guys get locked in? What's your role over these next couple of days as we get closer and closer to going back to the West Coast?
Right. Yeah. I think we got a couple guys have a little sickness from the cold Seattle weather, to be honest with you, some wetness in the air. So we're trying to get them healthy with our sports med staff. Today's just kind of a light practice. We're going to play on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have practice on Monday, practice early Tuesday morning, and then fly out Tuesday afternoon. Got a place to play out there on Wednesday. And then official practice round begins on Thursday with play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and come back with a national championship. So it's a lot of golf. I think if anything, you're trying to not overdo it, right? I think we've prepared enough through the course of the last 9 months. We played a golf course in Washington that is very similar to what we'll see in California in regards to the firmness, the type of grass. Time zone, Pacific Coast time zone, temperature-wise, pretty similar, 60 to 70 degrees. Very much what we saw. So, I feel very good where we are, not only from a confidence point of view, but from a preparation point of view. I think my job and Coach Caldwell's job is just not to stress them out at this particular point, to kind of keep them light, try to keep them prepared and fresh as can be.
So how does it break down, as like for people that don't know, like if they're trying to follow along with everything, how does it break down as far as players, how they compute the score? Because again, everybody, even just the casual golf fans, they're just going to look at it and be like, well, I know that it's just one player, and maybe they'll know how like the Ryder Cup works or things like that. How do they compute the scores? Let everybody know how like college golf works, because just a player doesn't win it, it's the team.
Yes, absolutely. And they are competing for an individual national championship, but the truth is we all want to be there as a team and compete as a team, and that's where the success is. So the 5 guys compete each day. The low 4 scores each round count. So, for instance, if you look at regionals, Wilhelm was the high man the first round. He didn't count. The other guys did. And in the final round, Wilhelm was low for us, shot 66. And Cooper Smith was a high man and didn't count. So each day the team score changes based off of who the low 4 scores are. When we get to the national championship, we will compete on Friday, we'll compete on Saturday, we'll compete on Sunday. And then after that, they cut from 30 teams to 15 teams. and those 15 teams will then compete on Monday. And then after that, the top 8 advance to match play. And we were fortunate enough to do that back in 2015 when USF hosted a concession. We finished sixth in the stroke play portion, and ultimately lost to Georgia in the first round of match play. But that's the goal for us every year. Certainly, our goals are still in front of us. You want to get there, and we're getting there. And then from then on, we just got to go play our golf. I mean, if you look at our results this past year, the success we've had low round of the day in about 6 tournaments we've played in. And so, our good is really good. We just got to get that consistency in controlling our emotions out there. And I'm confident that we can do that when the national championship's on the line.
So you said it goes down to 8 teams and then it's match play from there.
Yeah.
So then it's match play from there. And then how do you compute the team record then?
So it's just so Jake would play the number 1 guy from another team, Shuby play the number 2 guy from another team, and then you just win or lose that match. And so all 5 matches count. So then you get to like the Ryder Cup or the President Cup. Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so awesome. So then it'll be 5-on-5. So then it's 5-on-5 then?
Exactly.
So then there's no
stress. So I make an 8 and you make a 4, I only lose the hole, and I don't lose 4 shots to you. I just lose the hole and we go to the next one. So it really becomes a different mentality, which is the cool thing about match play.
So that's the thing too, coach, is like if you get to a point where, man, your 4 low guys are crushing it, and that 5th guy, if you get to match play, that guy's gotta pick it up, man. Because if not, like you're in essence throwing one away, right?
Right, exactly. And his crazy thing is, a couple of years ago, they're now allowing substitutions in golf, where you can't do it in the regular season, you can do it in the postseason. But Bo Hostler, who's on PGA Tour for Texas, injured his shoulder, couldn't compete in the finals of the national championship. So he lost his match by default because they couldn't sub at the time. So I mean, crazy, but yeah, it's a different mentality when you get in match play, because then it's mano a mano, and it really doesn't have anything to do with golf as much as you're playing that individual, and your course management changes based off of what they're doing. It's really a different scenario.
So how many guys do you go out there with for the team?
So we'll take 6. We take 1 sub. Matthew Joseph is a true freshman for us. He's been in and out of the 5-hole, played in a lot of tournaments as an individual, won a D2 event this past year as an individual. Have a ton of confidence in him. If somebody gets injured, gets sick, whatever may be, that he's going to be able to step in. But yeah, we'll travel with 6. Coach Caldwell and myself is 8. We got some administrative and some support staff going out. Jim Fee, Stephen Galvin, Nick Kelcourse. They were all our good luck charms out at regionals in Seattle. So we're getting the band back together. We're bringing them out to California too.
I feel like I'm very comfortable when Jim Fee's around. It's one of those things where, like, Jim Fee's the last person you see when you're leaving the baseball and softball complex. Jim Fee's at the football stadium. I feel a lot safer when Jim Fee's around. Do you get that same sentiment?
He's the hardest worker in our athletic department. It's unbelievable. That there's nothing that he hasn't thought of already.
Right.
So I think that's a sense of comfort that you have in knowing that he's thought about everything. The preparation is there. In Seattle, he did a great job. He kind of knows to stay out of the way. He's a former golf coach here. He understands our needs, what the pressure's like, understands the student athletes. It's been great having him be our sport administrator. He really looks out for us.
Well, you would have been very proud of me. I played some golf with my dad and my brother 2 weeks ago on, I think it was a reunion course in Kissimmee, the Watson course. And I chipped in from 45 yards out. It was pretty wild.
Look at you.
I know. It was my birthday. It felt good. And then we played another local course, National Oaks. And I think I made like a 40-foot putt on 18 for a birdie. So I was like,
you want to come out? You want to come out to practice here? We get ready for national championship and maybe give some short game tips.
Oh my gosh, no, because you don't want to look at the rest of the card, because the rest of the card's got a bunch of scribbles on it. But Coach, we got to get out there when the season's over, you and I, when the weather gets a little cooler, and you got to give me some pointers. But hey, man, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have just absolutely crushed it, and yeah, man, you were a great guy, great coach, and man, the Bulls, the program right now is just at a high, and just so many different athletic programs. Like I just feel like I'm having this conversation with so many different coaches, with Michael Kelly leading the way. I mean, lastly, just talk about him and just where the athletic program as a whole is right now. Because I've been saying this for the last 3 or 4 years. Like, you want to get on board with USF if you haven't, because it's coming. It's coming if it's not already here.
It's an unbelievable time within USF and USF athletics, and it starts with Michael Kelly. You're exactly right. I mean, I think that the thing that every coach knows about him is he cares about us. He cares about our families, cares about our kids. He was relaying a story after a conference. He called me and knew I was, pretty upset, and he was kind of talking about a story that my oldest daughter, Campbell, he's like, she said, I'm rooting for them, but ultimately at the end of the day, I want them to get to a regionals because I want to go to California and miss some school. So ironic. I mean, we get done and he's like, congratulations. Now you can tell your daughter Campbell that she's missing school and going to California. So like, he's in on that. And I, as a father, him being a father, and, he just cares, and you can tell he cares. And that's true leadership. It's amazing.
Sorry.
Did we just score?
Turn around. 2-run home run, baby.
Let's go Bulls.
6-5. All right,
Look at
Coach,
that.
go ahead. Go watch the rest of the game. I'm only going to be on for like 3 or 4 minutes so I can watch the rest of the game. Best of luck,
man.
I'll talk to you in a couple of days, man. Best of luck. We'll talk soon.
Hey, you keep doing you, Jay. I'm proud of you, man. Keep it up, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. The one and only Coach Steve Bradley. You are the man. Thanks, Coach. You are the best.